Welcome, my friends. This is more than just a video or a summary of a self-help book. This is a mirror that will reveal the truths you have perhaps been avoiding. Have you ever felt trapped in life, working tirelessly but seeing no real progress? You learn, you try, you struggle, yet success seems to always belong to someone else. You might look at wealthy individuals and feel as if they are from a different world. It is not merely luck or money or family background or a college degree or perfect timing. It is about one singular thing, their mindset. Yes, rich people and poor people do not just live differently, they think differently. This book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker, will show you precisely how to rewire your thoughts. It will help you break free from invisible chains you did not even know were holding you back. This journey might sting, as some truths will hit you like a punch, but these very truths are what will set you free. And as you embark on this learning, you are also enhancing your English, expanding your vocabulary, and sharpening your listening skills. This summary is crafted especially for English beginners hungry for growth. So, do not just watch casually. Watch as if your entire future depends on it, because this one video truly can change everything. Let us begin. Wealth File 1. Rich people believe, I create my life. Poor people believe, life happens to me. This is the foundational and most critical distinction between the wealthy and the less fortunate. Rich people navigate life as the driver, while poor people live as a passenger. They wait. They blame. They complain. They utter phrases like, I was born into a poor family, or my country offers no opportunities, or it is because of the government. It is not my fault. But individuals with a rich mindset, even if they are broke, even if they started with nothing, declare, I take full responsibility for my life. I do not care where I start, I care where I finish. Consider two brothers from the same impoverished family. Their father is an alcoholic. Their mother works 16 hours a day. They lack money, support, and connections. The first brother grows up saying, I am poor because of my parents. They ruined my life. The second brother states, I am poor, yes, but this is not my final destination. It is my starting point. One becomes a victim, the other becomes a warrior. That second brother begins learning English for free on YouTube, works part-time, studies business at night, and explores online income. 5 years later, one is still blaming life, while the other is gifting his parents a new home. What changed? Not luck, not the country, not the parents, only the mindset. And that is the essence of this lesson. Your takeaway, if you aspire to be rich, not just with money, but with growth, freedom, and strength, you must declare this aloud every single day. I create my life. I take responsibility. I am in control. Do this even when it is difficult, even when everything feels unfair, even when you want to surrender, because this single belief can unlock every closed door. Wealth File 2. Rich people play the money game to win. Poor people play the money game to not lose. This lesson runs deep. Most people are unaware, but they are living in a perpetual defense mode. The poor and middle class mindset often says, I just want to survive, pay my bills, maybe take one vacation. That is enough. But those with a rich mindset assert, I want freedom. I want choices. I want to win. I want to live life on my own terms, not merely survive it. There is a profound difference between merely surviving and truly winning. Imagine a football match. One team plays to win, they attack, they take calculated risks, they aim for goals. The other team plays not to lose, they defend, they waste time, they are too scared to take a shot. The team playing not to lose usually loses anyway. Life mirrors this. If you say, I do not want to be poor, I do not want to be unhappy, I do not want to struggle, you are playing not to lose. But if you declare, I want to earn $10,000 a month, I want to speak fluent English and teach it to others, I want to give my family a better life, you are now playing to win. That subtle shift in words creates a monumental change in your future. There was a man who worked in a parking lot, parking luxury cars for rich people every day. One day, he asked a driver, Sir, what do you do for a living? The man replied, I own 3 online businesses. I play to win, not survive. That sentence struck him deeply. He could have remained in that parking lot forever, just trying to cover his rent. But that night, he went home and wrote, I will no longer play small. I will no longer fear money. I play to win. That single sentence became his driving force. Today, he owns 2 cafes, runs an online English coaching class, and teaches students worldwide. Why? Because he shifted his mindset from fear to purpose. Your takeaway: do not live life like a scared driver constantly hitting the brakes. Drive like someone who knows exactly where they are going. Dream big, play bold. Speak with confidence, because the world belongs to those who dare to win. Wealth File 3: Rich people are committed to being rich. Poor people just want to be rich. This sounds simple, yet it is one of the most significant reasons people remain stuck in the same life indefinitely. Let us break it down. There is a vast chasm between wanting something and being committed to something. Almost everyone wants to be rich. They desire comfort, luxury, and freedom. They say things like, one day I will have a big house. One day I will travel the world. One day I will make so much money that I will never have to work again. But wanting is insufficient because wanting is inherently weak. It is based on fleeting emotion, not disciplined action. People want to be rich, but they are unwilling to wake up early. They are unwilling to learn something new. They are unwilling to invest money, time, or energy. They are unwilling to endure the necessary pain. And that is why they remain poor. Now, compare that with someone who is truly committed. When you are committed, you do not make excuses. You make sacrifices. When you are committed, you do not say, I will try. You say, I will do whatever it takes. And that one sentence, get I will do whatever it takes, is the dividing line between the poor and the rich. Imagine 2 girls from the same city, both from low-income families, both aspiring to be successful and speak fluent English. Girl A says, I want to learn English so I can get a better job. She downloads a few apps, watches Be Different, and gives up within 2 weeks. Girl B says, I will become fluent no matter what. She wakes up an hour early every day, listens to podcasts while cleaning, practices speaking to herself in the mirror, makes 200 mistakes, gets laughed at, but relentlessly continues. One wanted, the other committed. Guess who achieves success? Guess who lands the better job? Guess who starts teaching English to others? This principle applies not just to English, but to every aspect of life. People who commit win. People who merely wish wait forever. Deep takeaway. If you are watching this video right now and saying, I want to be rich, I want to succeed, I want to speak English well, then ask yourself, am I committed? Am I willing to do whatever it takes? Am I ready to stop blaming and start building? Because only then, only when you are fully committed, will the world truly begin to open up to you. Wealth File 4, rich people think big, poor people think small. Now, listen very carefully, for this file can reshape your destiny. The world does not reward small thinkers. It rewards individuals who dare to think beyond their perceived limits. People who think small say, I just want to earn enough to survive. I just want a normal job. I do not want to risk anything. But people who think big declare, I want to earn so much that I can retire my parents. I want to build a company that helps 1 million people. I want to become the absolute best in my industry, not just average. Small thinking stems from fear. Big thinking arises from vision. For example, there was a man who opened a small corner shop. He advised his son, one shop is enough. Do not be greedy. Just stay safe. And the son heeded his advice. He spent 30 years managing that small shop, earning a modest income, surviving, but never truly growing. Now, compare that with a young woman who starts the same small shop, but she possesses a grander vision. She tells herself, one day I will have 50 stores in this country. She starts small, but she diligently learns about marketing, branding, and franchising. She studies while others sleep. She reinvests every dollar into learning and expansion. 10 years later, she owns a nationwide chain. What was the difference? Vision. Big thinkers perceive what does not yet exist. Small thinkers only see what is safe. Lesson for you, do not play small. Do not think small. If your goal is to earn $500, aim for $5,000. If your goal is to learn English, aim to teach English to others. Think big, because big goals cultivate big focus. Big focus generates big energy, and big energy produces big results. Wealth File 5, rich people focus on opportunities. Poor people focus on obstacles. This is one of the most profound mindset shifts that will transform your life permanently. Poor people perceive problems everywhere. Rich people discern possibilities everywhere. When an idea emerges, the poor mindset questions, what if I fail? What if I lose money? What if people laugh at me? The rich mindset asks, what if it works? What if this is my chance? What if I can actually achieve this? One mindset extinguishes the dream. The other fights fiercely for it. Let us say you aspire to start a YouTube channel. The poor mindset says, but I do not have a good camera. My English is not perfect. What if nobody watches? The rich mindset declares, I will start with my phone. Every video will improve my English. Even if only one person watches and learns, it is worthwhile. Same situation, two distinct thought patterns, two entirely different futures. A deeper story. There was a man who lost his job during a recession. Everyone around him advised, this is the worst time. Stay at home, wait for the economy to recover. But he possessed a different mindset. He said, "This is the best time. While others are sleeping, I will build." He began selling homemade snacks online. Initially, he faced failures. His internet was slow, his family laughed, his orders were delayed. Yet, he focused on the opportunity. People were staying home, ordering food, eager to try new things. He refined his packaging. He started posting on Instagram. He built a thriving community. Today, he employs 40 people. All because he focused on opportunity, not obstacles. Lesson for you? Right now, your mind is choosing its focus. Are you dwelling on your imperfect English, your small town, your family's negativity, your fear of judgment? Or are you focusing on the phone in your hand, the free internet access, the millions of people who seek help, the possibility that you can rise? The one who fixates on obstacles will always find a reason to quit. The one who fixates on opportunity will always find a way to win. Wealth File 6. Rich people admire other rich and successful people. Poor people resent rich and successful people. This lesson exposes one of the most perilous and insidious habits that keeps people trapped in poverty, jealousy, and resentment. Let me pose a question. What is your initial reaction when you see someone driving a luxury car? When you see someone posting pictures from Paris or Dubai? When someone younger than you acquires a large house? Do you feel inspired? Or do you feel anger, jealousy, and think thoughts like, they must have cheated. They were just lucky. They probably come from a rich family. This thought process might seem minor, but it is incredibly dangerous. Why? Because you cannot become what you hate. If you secretly believe that rich people are bad, greedy, or corrupt, then your brain will never permit you to become rich. Even if you start earning more money, something will inevitably go wrong. You will spend it all, sabotage yourself, or quit because deep down you believe, if I become rich, I will become a bad person too. That belief will decimate your future. There were two boys working in the same hotel. One was a server, the other worked in the kitchen. A wealthy man frequented the hotel every weekend, dressed in expensive clothes, driving a luxury car, and giving generous tips. The kitchen boy would often mutter, "Oh, people like him, they just show off. He probably scams people for that money." The server conversely thought, "I want to learn from this man. I want to talk to him. Perhaps he will teach me something." One resented, one admired. Guess what transpired? The server eventually engaged in conversation with the man, learned about e-commerce, and secured his first job in the man's company. The kitchen boy, he is still there 15 years later, angry, bitter, and stuck. A single mindset difference changed everything. Let us say you see someone speaking fluent English online. They have millions of followers, teaching people, earning money, gaining popularity. A poor mindset will say, "This guy is fake. He is just copying others. He got lucky." But a rich mindset will state, "If he can do it, I can do it too. Let me study how he speaks. Let me practice harder." You have two choices every time you encounter success. One, resent it. Two, respect it. And only one of those paths leads to greatness. Your takeaway: if you aspire to become rich, begin by celebrating rich people. Observe how they converse, how they move, how they think. Do not blindly copy them, learn from them wisely, because admiration fosters connection and resentment erects walls. Wealth File 7. Rich people associate with positive, successful people. Poor people associate with negative or unsuccessful people. Your environment wields more power than your willpower. Read that again. Even if you are highly motivated, focused, and hungry for success, if you are surrounded by people who complain, fear, blame, and ridicule your dreams, it will slowly erode your potential. Your mindset is like a garden. If you plant roses, but encircle them with poison, the roses will perish. That is what happens when you harbor grand goals, but you are surrounded by individuals who say, "Do not dream too big. Be realistic. You will fail anyway. You are wasting time." Nobody in our family has ever achieved that. These people are not always your enemies. Sometimes they are your closest friends, your relatives, even your parents. But here is the truth. You do not have to hate them, but you also do not have to listen to them. For example, a boy from a small town yearned to become an online English teacher. His friends mocked him, saying, "Who will learn from you? Your English is bad. You are wasting your life." But he made a bold decision. He stopped associating with those friends. He began spending time with online communities where people were learning, teaching, and growing. He joined free English groups. He listened to motivational podcasts instead of gossip. He watched TED Talks instead of Netflix. In 2 years, he developed a course that helped 500 students. His old friends still poke fun at him, but now they do it from the comment section while he earns in dollars. Lesson: if everyone around you is negative, lazy, or angry, you will gradually become like them. But if you surround yourself with motivated, smart, positive people, even if you feel weak right now, you will rise. So choose wisely. You do not become rich by walking with the poor in mind. You become rich by walking with the rich in spirit. Your takeaway: start cleaning your circle. You do not have to cut everyone out. Just reduce the time you spend with those who deplete your energy and increase time with those who ignite a fire within you. Your future is shaped by the people you permit into your present. Wealth File 8. Rich people are willing to promote themselves and their value. Poor people think negatively about selling and promotion. This is a lesson many people overlook, and it silently sabotages their success. Let us be honest, we live in a world where if people are unaware of you, they cannot pay you. If people do not know what you do, they cannot support you. Yet, so many people are apprehensive about promoting themselves. They think, "I do not want to appear arrogant. What if people say I am showing off? What if they laugh at me? I do not like selling." And because of that mindset, they remain small. Rich-minded people grasp this simple truth. If you possess something valuable, you bear a responsibility to share it. Selling is not begging. Promoting your skills is not showing off. If you teach English, inform people. If you write books, promote them. If you can solve a problem, proclaim it from the rooftops. Because if you do not believe in your own value, why would anyone else? For example, a woman fluent in 4 languages began creating videos to assist others. Her first video garnered 12 views. She felt embarrassed, and ceased posting for 3 months. Then she read this lesson and made a vow to herself: I will promote my value. I will share what I know, not for fame, but to serve. She posted every week. She encouraged people to subscribe. She shared her story, her struggles, her passion. One day, one of her videos went viral. Now, she earns a full-time income simply by teaching what she already knew. Why? Because she stopped concealing her light. Lesson: if you are shy about discussing your skills, products, or dreams, you are not being humble, you are being selfish. Because there are people out there who desperately need what you possess. And if you do not share it, they will never grow. Promoting yourself is not about ego, it is about impact. Your takeaway starts small. If you have something to say, say it. If you have something to sell, share it. If you have a skill, use it loudly. Let people see you. Let them judge you. Let them mock you. But never let them silence you. Because silence does not serve the world. Your voice does. Wealth File 9. Rich people are bigger than their problems. Poor people are smaller than their problems. Let us approach this slowly, as this lesson is one of the deepest, most potent truths in the entire book. If someone truly internalizes this one, they will never be the same again. We all encounter problems. Some people are poor, some are ill, some are lonely, some are trapped in jobs they despise. Some cannot speak English fluently and feel embarrassed. Some come from broken families. But listen closely. The magnitude of your life will always be proportional to the magnitude of problems you are willing to confront. Poor people constantly attempt to evade problems. They lament, "Why is this happening to me? I cannot endure this anymore. My life is too difficult. I do not want problems, I just want peace." But rich-minded individuals think entirely differently. They assert problems are an inherent part of growth. And the faster I resolve them, the faster I grow. They do not try to flee from problems. They strive to become stronger than the problems themselves. Let me offer an unforgettable example. Imagine a man standing at the base of a towering mountain. He yearns to reach the summit, for a treasure awaits him there. But the path is treacherous, riddled with snow, jagged rocks, wild animals, and perilous steep edges. Now, envision this one climber gazes at the mountain and declares, "This is too dangerous. I do not want to get hurt. I will just remain here." Another climber looks up and says, "Yes, it is arduous, but if I stay here, I will forever regret it. I will climb. I will train. I will bleed if necessary, but I will reach the top." 10 years later, the one who stayed at the bottom is still complaining about life. The one who climbed is not just rich, he is unshakable. The mountain did not change, the person did. That is the lesson. Do not ask for an easier life, become a stronger person. Key takeaway: rich people do not wish for fewer problems. They cultivate the mindset, strength, and skills to handle more. They do not say, "I cannot." They say, "Not yet, but I will." Do not pray for your life to become easier. Train yourself until your problems feel smaller. That is how you win. Wealth File 10. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers. Now, this one might surprise you. We frequently discuss the importance of giving more, giving time, giving value, giving help. But this file addresses the other side, the capacity to receive. And poor-minded people are often terrible at this. They utter phrases like, "Oh, I do not deserve this," or "No, do not pay me too much," or "I feel guilty when people give me something," or "I am just doing my duty. No need to thank me." Why does this occur? Because deep within, they do not feel worthy of receiving. They believe that accepting money, praise, gifts, or love somehow renders them selfish. But rich-minded individuals grasp a universal truth. To receive is to complete the cycle of abundance. You cannot solely give, you must also be capable of receiving. And when you do, you must receive it fully, with gratitude and without guilt. There was an extraordinary artist in Kenya. He painted exquisite portraits, but only for friends. He never charged, saying, "Art is my passion. I do not want to ask for money." One day, a wealthy businessman saw his work and offered, I will pay you $500 for a custom painting." The artist declined. Why? Because in his heart he felt unworthy. He was afraid to receive. Years passed. He worked menial jobs just to survive, while his immense talent remained hidden. Until one day someone told him, "You are not being humble, you are being afraid. If your gift helps someone, why should you not receive something in return?" That single mindset shift transformed his life. He began charging for his art. He now operates a full-time art business and teaches others to believe in their self-worth. You cannot grow if you continuously reject the good things coming your way. Your takeaway: start receiving. When someone compliments you, say thank you. When someone offers you help, accept it with gratitude. When someone pays you for your work, receive it with pride. Because when you open your hands to receive, you also open your life to growth, wealth, and abundance. Wealth File 11's rich people choose to get paid based on results. Poor people choose to get paid based on time. This file is about freedom and ownership. It illustrates the distinction between a mindset limited by the clock and a mindset driven by value. Poor people think like this: I work 8 hours a day, so I should be paid for 8 hours. They are tethered to the clock. They believe the more hours they work, the more money they deserve. That mindset sounds reasonable, but it has a built-in ceiling. There are only 24 hours in a day. Rich people think like this: what value am I providing? What results am I producing? How many lives am I changing? They are compensated for impact, not minutes. For example, teacher A works in a local school. She teaches for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. She earns a fixed monthly salary. She is intelligent, kind, and hardworking. Teacher B teaches online. She creates a course that helps students pass an international English test. Each student pays $50. She enrolls 300 students in 1 month. She earns more than teacher AA earns in an entire year. Now, here is the crucial point: teacher B did not work more hours. She created more value and was compensated for the results she delivered. A man works in a shoe factory. He stands for 10 hours, produces 40 pairs of shoes a day, and earns $10 per day. Another man learns how to design websites. He builds a single-page site for a business in 5 hours. He earns $300 for that project. Now, some might argue that this is unfair, as the factory worker works more hours. But the truth is, it is not about hours. It is about value. The market rewards those who solve problems, produce results, and create impact. What you can learn, ask yourself, am I being paid for my time or for my value? Am I merely clocking in, or am I transforming lives? If you wish to ascend to the next level of wealth, you must cease thinking like an hourly worker and begin thinking like a value creator. Wealth File 12. Rich people think both. Poor people think either or. This lesson is not merely a mindset, it is a complete mental upgrade, a new operating system. Poor people consistently believe in limitations. They believe life presents a choice between two things: either I can be rich, or I can be a good person. Either I can be successful, or I can be happy. Either I can spend time with my family, or I can make money. Either I can follow my passion, or I can be practical. This type of thinking is akin to confining yourself within a small box. You prematurely close the doors of your future before life even tests you. But rich-minded people do not accept such limits. They ask, why not both? Why cannot I be rich and kind? Why cannot I be healthy and work hard? Why cannot I earn money and have time freedom? Why cannot I be a learner and a leader? This shift is subtle in its phrasing, but monumental in its reality. It cultivates a life of possibility, not restriction. For example, a woman in South Korea dreamed of becoming a mother, but she also harbored a dream of starting a baking business. Her family, her husband, and even her friends told her, you cannot do both. Once you have a child, forget the business. Do not dream too much. Just focus on being a good wife and mother. She listened quietly. But inside, she whispered to herself, why not both? While pregnant, she studied baking every night. She experimented in her tiny kitchen, sometimes at 2 a.m. After giving birth, she utilized nap times to test new recipes, design her logo, and post online. People called her crazy. She simply smiled and continued baking. 6 years later, she is the founder of a chain of cafes across Asia. She manages her company. She homeschools her 2 children. She did not choose either or, she chose both. This is what rich thinkers do. They do not accept the limits the world imposes on them. They expand their thinking until it accommodates their dreams. The next time your mind says, I cannot do both, pause, breathe, and ask, is this truly impossible or merely unfamiliar? Replace either or with, how can I have both? This one change will unlock doors in your mind, and that is where all success originates. Wealth File 13. Rich people focus on their net worth. Poor people focus on their working income. This lesson will differentiate temporary success from genuine wealth. Let us break it down in simple terms. Most poor or middle-class individuals primarily concern themselves with how much they earn each month. They say things like, I earn $800 a month. I make $50 a day. I just received a raise of $100 a month. This is working income, and yes, it is important. But it does not provide the complete picture. Because even if you earn $1,000 a month, if you spend $990 every month, if you have no savings, no investments, no assets, then your net worth is virtually zero. Rich people do not just ask, "How much am I earning?" They ask, "How much am I keeping? How much is growing? What do I own that generates money for me even while I sleep?" That is called net worth. And it encompasses your savings, your investments, your businesses, your properties, your assets, your long-term value. And that is the true scoreboard. It is not about how much you make, it is about how much you build. For example, a young man in Nigeria worked as a software developer. He earned a good salary, $2,000 per month. His friends admired him. He bought the latest phone, rented a nice apartment, and partied every weekend. But after 5 years, he had nothing saved. Then something unexpected occurred. One of his classmates, who worked at a slower job earning just $800 a month, purchased his first house. The man was astonished. How can he afford a house? I earn more than double his income, so he inquired. And the classmate replied, "Because I focused on net worth, not monthly income. I lived modestly, saved significantly, invested in land, and I built slowly." This was a stark realization. The man earning $2,000 a month had a rich salary, but a poor future. The one earning $800 a month had a humble salary, but a burgeoning empire, and that changed everything. The first man began budgeting. He started tracking his net worth. He saved 30% of his income every month. He bought a piece of land after 2 years. Today, he owns 2 properties and has 3 sources of income. Why? Because he stopped chasing the monthly number and started building wealth that endures. Lesson: stop asking only, "How much do I earn?" Start asking, "How much am I worth if I stop working tomorrow?" Track your net worth every 30 days. Observe its growth. Let it guide your decisions. Because income comes and goes, but net worth stays, and net worth is the genuine path to freedom. Wealth File 14. Rich people manage their money well. Poor people mismanage their money well. This is where 90% of people falter. Not because they do not earn enough, but because they do not manage what they already possess. Managing money does not necessitate being rich. It means respecting every dollar, euro, pound, or peso, no matter how small. Poor-minded people say, "I will manage money when I make more." What is the point of saving $10? That is nothing. I am bad with money. That is just who I am. I will consider investing next year. These beliefs are toxic. Because the truth is, if you cannot manage $100, you will never manage $10,000. If you do not track your money now, you will lose it later, even if you earn more. Rich people treat their money like a business. They know precisely how much they spend, where their money goes, what percentage is allocated to savings, investing, spending, giving, and learning. They have a system. They track every detail. They do not allow emotion to control their wallet. They control their money instead of being controlled by it. For example, a girl in Egypt worked as a tour guide. She earned only $400 per month. She lived in a small room with her parents. Most people in her neighborhood declared, "No one can save on this income. Forget investing, just survive." But she thought differently. Every month, she divided her salary into 5 jars, one for 50% for essentials, settle food, transport family, 2 for 10% for saving, 3 for 10% for education, 4 for 10% for fun, 5 for 20% for long-term investing. Yes. Sometimes she skipped going out. Sometimes she cooked instead of ordering food. But guess what happened? In 3 years, she had saved over $4,000. She utilized it to enroll in a business course, launch a travel blog, and acquire international clients. Now she works online and earns in foreign currency, 5 times more than before. Not because she earned more, but because she managed more. What you must comprehend money is energy. And if you mismanage it, it will dissipate. But if you manage it, it will multiply. You do not need a financial degree. You do not need a $10,000 salary. You just need discipline, awareness, and a system. Wealth File 15. Rich people have their money work hard for them. Poor people work hard for their money. This file is not just a mindset. It is a complete transformation in how you live, think, and navigate this world. Let us break it down. Most people, especially those with a poor or middle class mindset, are conditioned to think like this: if I want more money, I have to work more hours. If I want to earn more, I must work harder. Money only comes through sweat, pain, and effort. They believe money appears only when they are actively working. When they stop, the money stops. This mindset traps millions in a life of relentless labor. Even when they are intelligent, skilled, and hardworking, they trade their time for money. But time is a finite resource. You only have 24 hours in a day. You sleep, you eat, you travel, leaving you with only a few hours to earn. That is why most people remain stuck in a loop: work, eat, sleep, repeat. Rich-minded people break this cycle. They ask a fundamentally different question: how can I make money even when I am not working? They understand that the objective is not merely to work harder, but to construct systems, assets, and income streams that work for them. They set their money in motion. They invest, they build, they automate, they scale. Because when your money works for you, you gain something invaluable: freedom. For example, in the Philippines, a man named Carlo worked as a delivery rider. He earned money per ride. Every day, 7 days a week, through sun, rain, or storm, he worked tirelessly. He had no savings, no holidays, no weekends. But one day, he made a delivery to a man who owned several small kiosks. They conversed briefly, and the man asked Carlo, "What do you do with your money?" Carlo replied, "I use it to eat. The rest is gone in a day." The man uttered something that forever changed Carlo. Use your hands now, but build something that earns with or without your hands later. Carlo returned home, opened a notebook, and wrote one sentence: "I will make my money work harder than me." He began saving 5% of each day's income. In a year, he saved enough to purchase a second-hand cart. He entrusted that cart to his cousin, who sold fresh juice at the park. They shared the profit. Then he bought another cart and another. In 4 years, he was no longer delivering. He owned 12 carts. He slept peacefully while others toiled, because now his money was working. Carlo did not win by running faster. He won by planting seeds that grew while he rested. That is the essence of this wealth file. Takeaway: you cannot be free if you must work every hour just to survive. You must build assets that generate income while you sleep. Start small. Save a portion of your income. Learn the basics of investing. Create something once, a digital product, a service, a course that can sell repeatedly. Your body can only work so hard, but your money, skills, and ideas, if utilized wisely, can work harder, longer, and smarter than you ever can. That is true wealth. Wealth File 16. Rich people act in spite of fear. Poor people let fear stop them. This is the most emotional, real, and honest wealth file in the book. Because fear is the single greatest killer of dreams, far more than failure ever could be. Everyone experiences fear. Even rich, successful, and powerful individuals feel afraid. Afraid of losing money, afraid of being judged, afraid of failing, afraid of not being good enough, afraid of wasting time. But here is the critical difference. Poor-minded people wait to feel fearless before they take action. Rich-minded people act even while they are afraid. Fear is like a wall in your mind. If you continuously stare at it, it will grow larger. But if you begin walking through it, you will realize it was never real. It was constructed of air, not bricks. For example, a young woman from Colombia longed to start a podcast in English, but she was terrified. Her English was not perfect. Her voice trembled. She thought, people will laugh. What if I say the wrong word? What if nobody listens? So she waited and waited for 2 years. Then one day, she watched a video of a boy with a speech disability delivering a powerful speech in front of thousands, and she wept. She realized, if he can speak with a trembling voice and change people's lives, then what am I waiting for? That night, she recorded her first episode. It was not perfect, but it was honest, emotional, and brave. Only 11 people listened, but one of them emailed her and said, "You gave me hope. Please do not stop." That was the genesis. Today, her podcast boasts over 2 million downloads. She speaks globally and she shares the same truth with everyone. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the choice to move, even when fear is deafening. That is the core of this lesson. Your deep takeaway: fear is not your adversary. Fear is your signal. It indicates where your next level of growth awaits. The more scared you feel, the more that endeavor likely matters. So stop saying, "I am not ready. I am scared. What if I fail?" Start saying, "I will do it afraid. I will grow by walking into the fear, not away from it." Your dream life resides on the other side of your fear. And the only way to reach it is to walk through. Wealth File 17. Rich people constantly learn and grow. Poor people think they already know. This is the final wealth file, and it is the most crucial of all, because everything you have learned thus far, every single wealth file, means nothing if you cease learning. Poor-minded people believe their brain is already full. They say, "I already know that. That will not work for me. I do not need to read. I have tried everything." They close the door before they even knock. But rich-minded people are perpetual students. They ask, "What else can I learn today? Who can I study? What books can I read? What mistakes can I learn from?" Because they understand that if your mind is not growing, your life is dying. Growth is not a stage, it is a lifestyle. For example, a retired farmer in Italy, 64 years old, decided he did not want to spend the rest of his life doing nothing. He could barely operate a smartphone. He did not speak English. He had never traveled beyond his hometown. But he made a resolute decision. He declared, "Before I depart this world, I want to learn how to use the internet. I want to learn English. I want to understand how the world functions." People laughed. They said, "You are too old. Why now? Just relax." But he responded, "I am not done growing." Every day for 2 years, he practiced online. Today, he runs a small YouTube channel where he teaches Italian farming tips to people worldwide in English. He is 67. He is not rich in money, but he is rich in growth, purpose, connection, and global impact. He is living proof that learning never concludes unless you choose to stop. Final takeaway, the most dangerous sentence you can utter is, "I already know." Because the moment you believe there is nothing left to learn, that is when your future stagnates. Read more, listen more, ask more, remain curious. Because the mind that stays open always discovers a new path to rise. You have now completed all 17 wealth files from Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Not merely read, but felt, understood, absorbed, and lived. This is not just a summary. This is a transformation. You have witnessed what rich-minded people believe, how they act, how they grow. You have seen examples from across the globe. And now you have a choice. You can close this video and dismiss it as merely interesting. Or you can declare, "I will live this. I will think differently. I will change my habits, my mindset, my language, my wealth. I will become the kind of person who constructs a rich life, both internally and externally." Remember, you are not poor because of your income. You are poor because of your programming. But the code can be rewritten. And today, that process has already commenced. And if you sense something stirring within you right now, a small ember, a quiet voice whispering, "I want more. I want better. I want to grow," then do not ignore that voice. Because your past does not dictate your future. Your habits do. Your mindset does. Your belief in yourself does. Perhaps you were told you are not intelligent enough. Perhaps you were told success is for others. Perhaps you have failed before. But now you know. You were not born poor. You were trained to think poor. And just as you were trained, you can be retrained. You can now think like the rich. Act like the rich. And slowly, step by step, become one of them. Not just rich in money, but rich in confidence, in peace, in freedom, in purpose. So, do not wait for the perfect day. Today is the perfect day. Do not wait for confidence. Courage precedes it. Confidence follows. Start small. Start scared. Start alone if you must. But just start. Because your new life begins the moment you stop thinking like the old you. And if you continue learning, continue growing, and continue moving forward, one day people will ask you, "How did you achieve it?" And you will smile and reply, "It all began with a book and a decision to change. Now it is your turn." Repeat after me, "I am no longer the same. I choose to think like the rich. I choose to act in spite of fear. I choose to grow no matter what. Yet I will create a future I am proud of." Let this be your new beginning. And if this helped you, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because your journey is just starting. And I will be here with you every step of the way. Now go and build the life that once felt impossible, because now you know it is possible.